Welcome to Born on the Bayou Sports, a Houston sports show made for Houstonians by Houstonians. Join Tim Costello and Scott Barzilla every week as they break down the latest in Houston Astros, Rockets, and Texans news. Tim's a former minor league broadcaster, and Scott has written 2 books on the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah, if Javier could get it figured out, it would make things a lot easier because he was that guy everybody was counting on this year to be a Cy Young candidate, take that big step forward and help anchor this rotation with Fromber.
Since he's come to Houston, you can look at the development of guys like Carlos Correa defensively, Jeremy Pena defensively. I mean, you can Alex Bregman's, certainly I think a better than average third baseman.
And now you're putting teams in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. Now here comes Will Anderson. Pin back your ears, let's go. So if you're Bayou born and bred, or just like spending time in the H, sit down, relax, and stay Houston strong. Welcome all my friends to the show that once again has our hosts reunited. But Scott, just to peel back the curtain a little bit for our viewers and listeners, we were reunited, same city, same place, same time, got to say hello to each other for the first time in a long time, man. It was good to see you in person.
I think that's been literally like 15 years in person.
Probably. We tried to play golf once, but you you named yourself the scumbag that week for messing up the tee time booking process. But yeah, man, it was unfortunate that the game didn't turn out better for us, as it was the best Aaron Getty's looked in a long time. But it was really good to get to come say hello before the game. You've got a great spot down there in left center field. Not left center, I'm sorry, left foul territory. But you had mentioned it before. Like I was trying to sell my parents on getting in on that package that you have. I was like, what better way to spend your Friday nights than do this? I don't know what you pay for parking, but I found an app that I got a spot for $30. It was a 5-minute walk, and I was out in 5 minutes.
So I parked. Yeah, we parked. Well, I got another story.
I know.
I got another story on that one.
I was off Franklin and LaBranch.
But no, we parked right behind Incarnate Word.
Okay.
And so it ended up being about $30. I mean, a little bit. These, parking apps kind of throw on the convenience fees, and so
this one was pretty good. You could book it. The MLB ballpark app took you to this app, and I was able to look at how far away it was. It took me right to the center field entrance, about a 5-minute walk from the center field entrance. It was at Franklin and LaBranch, which is literally,
I still have not gotten a giveaway, Tim. We were there before 6 o'clock.
I didn't get Fridays either.
We did not get it. So,
at one point, Scott, I looked around and I said to Haley, I feel like we're the only person here who didn't get the giveaway. Everybody had the fucking jersey but me, and it looked good. I will say not to be I prefer the pullover style giveaway jersey. I was wearing an Altuve giveaway that night. That's the V-neck pullover. I feel like the buttons on the button down giveaway jersey fall off very easily, and then they become unwearable, versus the softball kind of V-neck jersey giveaway last a little bit longer and kind of look a little bit better.
All right. So I know you had a question.
I do. Let me change our tile here for our starting question. Scott, I was sitting there eating my panini just now as my wife was watching the revival of the show Password. And one of the contestants mentioned that her goal is to visit every NBA stadium and watch the 76ers. And that kind of shocked me, because I feel and here's the question, is the NBA the worst sport to do the stadium tour with? Because I feel yes, you get very little character in an NBA environment versus MLB, NFL, things of that nature. But I want to hear your thoughts on it as well.
I mean, I guess if you're going to go hockey, because hockey is going to be the same as the NBA, right?
It's the same stadiums though, right?
Yeah, and then I guess I would think like maybe an MLS tour would be worse, just because I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. At least the MLS stadiums have some outdoor element to it, right? Like
Well,
I feel like that adds to the like being in Pittsburgh at a Pittsburgh Penguins game or being in Pittsburgh at a Pirates game on the Allegheny on a beautiful summer night is literally one of the best moments as a baseball fan in my life was a random Pirates Nationals game in July. And I can't imagine having the same vibes at a Pittsburgh Penguins game or a Philadelphia 76ers game.
Well, the key is like there's the building, right?
Right.
And then there's the vibe of the people behind the building. Like the commercial Janet and I both love. I don't know if you've seen the Academy commercials where they show like the all the fans of Mexico like underneath kind of like a tent, and they're just kind of and I'm like, I love that commercial for two reasons. Number one is just sheer unadulterated joy, that they're experiencing in that moment. And number two, it pisses MAGA off because they're speaking Spanish. So it's like, it's just a double whammy.
I mean, I feel like the cities are part of the visits, right? Like you're going to visit all these cities. So you're going to get it no matter what, right? Like 95% of cities that have an NBA team have a baseball or a football team too, right? Like it's a pretty close matchup along those lines. To me, if you're a basketball fan only and that's your thing, whatever, I no hate. This is a no hate critique. It's just you and I are fans of all the sports, right? And I think to me, basketball was the weirdest one to be like, I want to see every stadium because they're all kind of the same, right? Every basketball court has the same dimensions. Every hoop is the same height. Like there's no difference to it from the arena standpoint.
Yeah, and we're actually going to our first Texans game this next year. We've never been to a Texans game, but I've been to Oilers games.
That's a fucking vibe.
I've been to Oilers games. We're going to go see the New York Football Giants come to.
So send me the day you're going. I have the ability to get sweet tickets for any game I want next year, and I could literally pick the Giants game if that's the one you want to do.
Well, we've already gotten the tickets. So.
Well, no, I'm saying, but I can meet you out there. We could tailgate because we get a parking pass, so we could tailgate. We could have a good time because you got to get there early and tailgate. The Texans tailgate is a national winner.
That's true.
We'll make plans off air, Scott.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I've been to Oilers games. There's just, football's got its own vibe to me. College football, particularly, is kind of a very underrated vibe.
Agreed.
We went, to our first LSU game this last year.
Oh, for sure.
That was that was definitely a nice vibe. Unfortunately, it's Parents' Weekend, and they never play anybody good for Parents' Weekend
because they can't go hard when you guys are there.
Yeah.
You can't go Alabama in town and they'll be like, "Hey, mom and dad, let me show you around. Put the fucking bottles away. Put the fucking bottles away."
It was like something like Southeastern, Northwestern, Central Louisiana against LSU. It's like,
it's Faith and Family Day. Mike Burrows, get out there, make a start, buddy.
It was like 35-0 at the half, and you're just like, okay, this is nice. But hey, we're gonna go next year again. We'll see what our friend Lane has in store. But yeah, I tend to agree.
I agree with you on college. I think like a Big 12 tour would be really cool. Like if you followed your team throughout all the stops of the Big 12, because I'll be honest, UH's tailgates is shit compared to everybody else in the world, right? Like I've been to a TCU game. I thought y'all had an okay setup, but definitely I think better than what we have. I've been to UT. That was pretty crazy. I did not go to the game, but I was in Ann Arbor for Michigan State weekend for a wedding. That was fucking balls to the wall crazy. My brother walked into a Michigan bar for Michigan State weekend and asked them to put the UT game on because, as he put it, we're a national brand. But that's all. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I already knew LSU had it going, because my in-laws live in Baton Rouge, obviously. But if I didn't, and had a get to know you event for all the Houston, incoming LSU Tigers, and when we were in the parking garage and we saw some people tailgating for that, we're just like, yes, we're going to.
When I was at UH, Scott, I used to I made a deal with my dad, right? Because he owned the Carrabba's, and he couldn't fathom the idea off that I took every Saturday off to go to every UH football game because I told him I wanted to go to school of football and experience that. So the first game of my career at UH after transferring, my buddy bails on me last minute, so I watched the game at home on TV. And he's like, "What the fuck? I gave you the Saturday off of work. You better be at those games tailgating." It's like, "Oh, okay, like if that's what you want, like okay." So I parked on the top level of my parking garage every week. I had a personal little propane camper grill. I was like sitting up there puffing, drinking, just like grilling up a steak and some stuff for myself. Like it was a wonderful time to be a student at UH, man. Not football wise because we sucked, but I was just I was vibing at the top of the park garage and no one even gave a fuck. Like no one gave an absolute shit.
But to pay off on your question, I agree that the NBA would be my least desired, tour of stadiums because, plus, I mean, you never have more than 20,000 people in attendance. So you're not going to have the sheer numbers either.
Nope. I agree with you. But again, this lady's a 76ers fan. If that's your sport, right? I totally get the vibe of following your team to every city. I get it. But it just made me kind of question like basketball stadiums. They're all kind of the same. But let's go from that to an urgent need, which is a fucking major league quality starter, Scott. We have lost 2 of 3 to the Washington fucking Nationals. We had one day of competent pitching. Thank you, Lambert, I guess, as usual. But other than that, I know Amai technically was the starter yesterday, but due to a blister nail, whatever issue, he comes out in the 4th. But Scott, like we need a fucking starter. Brown doesn't look great. Literally right now, Lambert is the only guy through the lineup or through the rotation every 5 times who has been consistent.
Yeah, and we need to talk about a couple of demotions there. I think number one, Mike Burrows. It's just he had that one decent outing after he had made that bullpen appearance, and you were kind of hopeful that maybe he'd turn things around, and it's just awful. Arrighetti, with the exception of the start you and I both went to, has been pretty awful. For the past, I would say, month at least. And then, were you surprised when they sent Jake Myers down?
I was shocked, but ecstatic.
But
I think Jake Myers is a waste of a major league roster spot.
Well, but my problem is, and I'm glad that Chris Kringle's back, as you pointed out in text. That was a nice. I got a hat tip to you for that one. But you got Miguel. Let's look at Miguel Elo's 2 outings.
Okay.
4 innings, scoreless, 7 strikeouts.
Tasty.
What in the hell is this guy doing in Sugarland?
He was converting to a reliever, right? Like he was. I'll give him that. Like you'd gone into the season as a starter and maybe trying to figure out who you are as a late inning guy. Maybe you have to be ready to go 2 innings every other day, knowing who Joe Espada is as a manager. I got to go 2. I can't just do 1.
Well, he did.
I do.
Outings. Yeah, he went 2 outings and 2 innings each.
That's what I'm saying. He had to prepare. He's like, I'm going to be probably going to be a 2-inning guy. I know Joe. But no, at the end of the day, I tend to agree with you. As many bullpen woes as we've had, I'm also shocked. Like Brian Abreu looked pretty good until he didn't the other night with the error and the single. But at the end of the day, I'm shocked he's kind of still there when Ulola was doing what he did. I mean, Scott, we need help. At the I target some different teams and try and get a package. Like, to me, maybe the Giants are a team that are looking to unload some salary. If you're willing to take on some extra money, knowing that you may not even play baseball next year, and just say fuck it and take on a Robbie Ray, and maybe you can get an outfielder from them as well. Maybe the Korean center fielder Lee or Lin, who's pretty good. I'd look at that. Or maybe if in a dream scenario, get Arias, because he can play left field and he's a guy who gets on base and is a good contact hitter. And in the world where Jeremy Pena is only your leadoff hitter every 2 weeks and then is out of the lineup for 2 weeks and is back in for 2 weeks, he's a guy who hits 300 at the top of the order.
Yeah. Lee is the guy. Yeah. The Korean guy you're talking about. And I did this for the article that's actually coming out tomorrow for Crawfish. And according to AI, which AI is never wrong, right? You gonna agree with me on that one?
Not never, but it's pretty close.
I'm going, tongue firmly playing on my cheek there. So we are somewhere between 215 and 233 in terms of our payroll, and the tax threshold's at 244. So if we're past the halfway point, right? So let's take the worst of those scenarios. You got $11 million to play with. And effectively, you can take on a $25 million contract because you're past the halfway point of the season. So you can afford Robbie Ray if it's just Robbie Ray. And that's not even considering what money is going back, to the Giants in that deal. Like, I would sit there and say, hey, take Jake Myers, please.
I mean, that doesn't do anything for them, right?
Well, in addition to some other things, like, I would say, like, just take that as a salary offset, But the thing is that here's my question: is there any deal out there that would make you willing to get rid of Nayans or Kevin Alvarez?
Yes. A top end starter with years of control.
But I mean, is that guy out there?
I don't know, right? Like,
Tree Scooble's a free agent.
If you could get Logan Webb from the Giants, who's under team control, I believe, for at least a few years, would you give up one of those guys?
I mean, in that scenario, yeah, but I don't see why the Giants would do that. I would think the Giants would be just willing to shed guys who are in their last year.
I think Ray's going to go. I think Arias is going to go because he's a 1-year contract. I think they would love to get rid of Adames and Matt Chapman in one way or another, but I don't want either of those guys. We need an outfielder who's a legitimate Major League Baseball player, and we need starting pitching. So I get that we have arms coming back, but as you and I have mentioned, we need more than one starter right now. So go get one. Maybe one of the 3 that's coming back can be reliable. You've got Hunter Brown and you've got Lambert. There's 4. All right, let's roll the dice.
And let's be honest, right? I think I'm not going to say Arrighetti is cooked.
I didn't include him.
But I'm saying I'm saying what I'm talking about now is for the rest of the year, right? I'm not saying he's cooked, but you need to have something in case he is cooked. Because there's a possibility you might have to be sending him down a la Tongue, that you did, earlier, where maybe he's just, dead arm or whatever the case may be. And I definitely wouldn't say no to including him in a deal if it's for a guy that you have control beyond the season. Some other guys, Mickey Moniak's numbers outside of Coors are horrible, and his numbers in the AL West are even worse. He does not have a 600 OPS in any park in the AL West. So Jake McCarthy, however, is better. And so he could be a guy. And he's got like another year or two left where, he would have some control. Senton is, I'm butcher his name. Senton Zalela. I think he's like 9 or 10-0 with the Rockies out of the bullpen. They've been looking for right-handed bullpen. It's one of the things that Dana Brown has mentioned. It's wanting to have a right-hander in the bullpen. Maybe you package a deal like that and get both of those guys. Because there's really, when you look at starters, there's really two ways to go about it. You can go about it where you say, let's get as many good starters as we can. And the other way is, let's get a 6-7 deep bullpen where you can start pulling guys after 4 or 5 innings instead of 5 or 6 innings.
I mean, I definitely would love to have a very, very deep bullpen. But the idea of, if you look at those teams that go heavy bullpen days, they very rarely make it to the playoffs because you need 5 or 6 guys to all be on every single time that you go out there, right? If you're going to go with a guy who gives you 3, maybe 4 innings, I've now got to have 5 guys be on their best and be able to get me 15 outs, maybe 6 guys, depending on matchups. That's a lot harder than asking 3 total guys if you got a guy who goes 7 and then you need the 8th and the 9th, right?
Right.
It's just, how are we going to match that up? I don't know. I don't trust a spotter to make the right call if we're a full heavy bullpen team. I think you have to look at the strength of your manager as well. And regardless of whatever articles are out there telling me he's a good bullpen manager, I refuse to believe that. I just think, Scott, we need. So at the end, you've got Lance McCullers, Renell Bronco, and Wesnecki coming back somewhere all between now and the deadline, right? I think you could count on maybe one of those 3. Add Javier into the mix, maybe it's 2 of the 4 being decent starts. Then you've got Hunter Brown and you've got Lambert, right? Like, I'd love to have more than that because this is a team that's not out of the playoff race, despite the fact that they're pitching like shit. Despite the fact you scored 11 motherfucking runs the other night. Yeah. You scored 11 for the second time. For the second time this year, they've scored 11 runs in a loss. So we need better pitching, regardless if it's starting, if it's relief, if it's fucking batting practice pitching. All of it has to get better.
Well, and I think what's killing me is right now. So if you look at coming into the night, you had 3 starters with an ERA under 4, right? So, you had Arrighetti until tonight. You had Hunter Brown. You had Peter Lambert. You looked in your bullpen. You had, not even counting Chris Kringle, you had 5 guys with ERAs under 4 in the bullpen. So what your problem is that you're employing, until you sent Burroughs down, 2 starters who have ERAs of basically 6 or worse. And you have 2 or 3 guys in the pen that you're throwing out there, Brian Abreu in particular, who are just not good. And they're dragging your entire staff down. In the American League, only 1 team has allowed more base runners this year than the Astros. So if you want to sit there and say, oh, this pitching staff's been unlucky, oh, bull fucking shit. They've been horrible. They're next to last in walks allowed in the league. They're first in hit batsmen. Yay! Good job, guys. You've hit more batters than any other team in the league.
Did you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, I never have.
There's an episode where they get a boat, right? And he wants to lure girls onto the boat because of the implication of what could happen if they say no, right? Like, and he's like, anytime someone's like, the implication of what? He's like, whoa, man. It's just the implication. Right. So I think the Astros have the implication that if you step into the batter's box, you can take one fucking ear hole at any time, and that's supposed to make you off balance, but it doesn't ever work.
No, it doesn't. And, but anyway, the point is that this pitching staff overall has been bad because there are, you remember do you remember the 1%er episode of South Park?
Yes.
That's what the Astros pitching staff is. Your entire pitching staff is drugged down by the fact that you've got, I would say, probably 3 or 4 guys on this staff who are just absolutely god awful. And what kills me is that, like, a Miguel Yola is sitting right there. He can replace one of those guys in the bullpen, but you don't do it. I mean, I don't know. Jason Alexander, maybe he's doing Food Town commercials. I don't know. But, I mean, wouldn't you consider, like, Food Town to be the AAA of HEB?
I could say that's like the Florida Coast League.
Maybe Kroger.
Kroger would probably be, if not AAA, then like playing for
The Rockies.
The Rockies, yeah.
But, you know, maybe God, I was thinking like maybe like an Aldi commercial. Maybe Jason Alexander can do some Aldi commercials. I mean, that would be like AAA.
You won't even know I'm not the real Jason Alexander.
I mean, so I don't know what's going on with him. In case you got Colton Gordon down there doing whatever.
Hang on. Here's the Aldi commercial. You have Jason Alexander do kind of like reenact the scene from Seinfeld where George quits and then comes back to work the next day, but have him do it with like Dana Brown, where like they're all in like a pitching meeting the next day and like, didn't Jason Alexander quit? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I'm here. And then you're like, see, you won't even tell it's not the real Jason Alexander. This is why more companies can hire me.
But that's my point though, is that you've got 3 or 4 guys who are just god awful, and 2 of them are starters. And so, you know, and when you get Spencer Getty in a slump, and when you get Hunter Brown not being Hunter Brown, it magnifies everything.
Yeah, I mean, the start Saturday from Hunter Brown was awful. Luckily, Yordan Alvarez is fucking him. But at the end of the day, that was not the Hunter Brown I want to see. The velo was down, right? The velo was at like 93, 94. I'm sure Dana was happy about Hunter Brown's velo being at 93, 94. But the rest of us who are worried about Hunter Brown's arm don't love seeing his velo dip like that.
And you want to go, the most worthless pitching stat is?
What's that?
Wins and losses.
Yes.
Imai has a winning record. Tell me how.
A lot of runs, and
explain it to me like I'm a 4-year-old.
I mean, I feel like Imai has been trending better.
He has, like, he's Dr. Heckle or Mr. Jackass.
He's like a two forward, 1 back kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a guy that'll give you 6 really dominant innings, or he'll get chased in the first. I mean, there's not really much in between with him.
I feel like he's just some days he's just not locked in. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. You know, maybe send him to me. We'll work on auditory stimulation. Help me with my golf game, as I'm better than I've ever been. But I don't know, Scott. It's I'm in this one, like, he was doing better, but then he little cut on his finger or whatever the fuck that was. Like, okay, I get it. It does affect how you grip things. I don't know, Scott, but there's definitely a need. I wish we could have gotten Verlander for the stretch run as he's retiring, but he's basically said he's happy to stay in Detroit, and also his arm's fucking shot. I don't know. Screwball's a dream scenario, but we don't have the fucking bullets in the gun, right? Like, we're shooting 22s when everybody else is out there with bazookas and 50 cals. Like, I don't know, have you heard of this guy, Joey Loperfido? Like, can I interest you in one?
We were throwing out more and more deranged trait scenarios in text. I mean, it just, each one got worse than the next one. Like, my favorite one is when I saw, like, I can, this guy, random guy on Twitter, I can confirm that the Astros have traded Shea Whitcomb for Therese Grubel.
Hey, if you're interested, I got this guy who could play damn near every position on the field. He will hit home runs every now and then. I got another guy. He brings lunch for he does a great job bringing lunch.
Hey,
knows the best coffee spots.
Shea came up huge in Faith and Family Night. I mean, he was one of the speakers, and if Detroit hasn't had theirs yet,
yeah. Hey, if you guys, yeah. What do you guys do on Sundays? Do you guys do like a family day on Sundays? Because I've got this guy, Shea Whitcomb, who gives an amazing testimonial. I normally upcharge for that, okay, but being the godly man that I am, I will not. And let me give you a little taste of his testimony.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. You know what? We stumbled onto a shipment of Jolt Cola, and you never see Jolt Cola. We could put that shit in your vending machines, and your team would be wired, and my God, they'd be ready.
And then you hear like Jim Crane in the background, and I have a case of Pepsi Crystal that I've never used in my vault. I will give you the Pepsi clear Pepsi product. I have it. I fucking have it still, unopened, 20-ounce bottles, ready to rock, baby.
I've got some flavored 7-Up. The flavors nobody has seen.
I held on to the holiday Sprite. Okay, I have the cranberry Sprite combo that's only available November through January. If you want Thanksgiving flavored cocktails now, guys, you better pick up the phone and answer my call.
Hey, you know what we found? We got a whole crate of it, man. Count Chocula. That shit's only available in the stores in October. Man, we have boxes and boxes of that shit. We could get it over to you. Those guys could have a nice pregame meal. On their Sunday, your Sunday noon games, those guys want some good breakfast, to arm them before that game.
Scott, I've got one final offer for the Detroit Tigers, and if they can't accept this, I don't know what we can do. I have personally spoken to the Rabbit from Tricks, and what I can offer is that the Detroit Tigers players will be officially allowed to eat Tricks even though they're not kids. That is my final offer. The Rabbit said he will allow it. He will not show up and steal your bowl of cereal if you are a member of the Detroit Tigers. And that's front office included, guys. I have made sure that even your interns are allowed.
Could I even raise you a guy dressed up as the Lucky Charms leprechaun?
I don't think that's a raise. I think that is a subtraction. But could you imagine if Dana is on the phone and is like, what costume can I put on and send you a video that makes you say yes to this, sir?
Yes. So, yeah, I got the message. I'm holding this, as you can see on camera. I got these, these stress balls. I don't know if you've seen stress balls like this.
I have not.
Ordered them off Amazon, but see, the thing is they have messages on it, and there's the positive message, which you can see right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I write messages on the back for kids, and this is so I don't never have to talk to a student ever again. So I just bust that out.
Do your work.
I mean, I've got 4 balls, so I mean, I can give like a different message. Get off your phone, do your work. So
you throw it at them.
No, don't throw it at him. Just show him. And so here to Dana Brown, do your work. Do your work, man. Get on the phones. Let's go.
We're on the heels of a left-handed bat. We're chasing the fight of a left-handed bat.
Don't tell me about the left-handed bats you're chasing for the last 3 years. Let's do some shit. Come on, let's go.
Chasing the fight, left-handed bat style, Scott. All right, let's give some awards away. That was a fun Astros conversation. But I think we've got some good ones this week. Scott, who do you want to give the old 1, 2, pow, right in the kisser to this week?
So I was going to go, I'll tell you the punch. I'm switching this up because I know some of the awards you're giving away. My punch is to, Dana Brown / Mike Burrows. It was just, man, dude, you're awful. And it's that 4-seam fastball. It really is. I mean, every dinger he's given up this year, and it's a league leading number of dingers, folks. Every dinger he's given up this year has been off the four-seamer. And it's like at some point, somebody in the pitching lab has got to figure this out. And it's like, is it an arm angle issue? I've heard that's possible. I've heard that his arm angle has changed from his time in Pittsburgh. Could it also be just simply have a two-seamer, have a cutter, have a split finger, develop something? I feel like, you remember that scene in Bull Durham where where Crash Davis and Nikola Lush gets in a fight in the back of the bus?
I do, yes.
And he's like, oh, no, Crash was just going to teach me to throw a curveball. And the pitching coach is like, yeah, let me give it to the catcher so the catcher can teach him how to throw a curveball. Isn't that the pitching coach's job, Tim?
Could be.
Just suggesting. But, maybe, we could get in the back of the bus and, threaten Mike Burrows. I don't care if you have a Porsche. I care that you have some kind of a main pitch that guys aren't going to hit out of the yard. Could we do that?
I don't know, Scott. That's asking an awful lot. But maybe I think there's also a chance that like the fellow pitchers could like, hey, here's what I do that works. Here's a two-seamer that I throw that gets a lot of run. Hey, Josh Hader, I noticed you have this sinker that kind of just fucking knuckles on people. How do you do? I will admit my guilty pleasure movie on air here if I haven't before. I'm a fan of Major League 3 Back to the Minors,
Yes.
right? And there's that scene where Hogg learns the curveball from Doc, right? And they start talking like the fucking physics, and like he can't figure it out until he starts talking about like the axis and the spin, and then he's like, "All right, man." Like, but either way, like they're like, "Oh shit, Hogg learned how to throw a curveball." But this happened on a bus, just chatting it up with another pitcher. You're telling me there's no one on that staff who can help you? Like, what is the point of having teammates if you can't go to them and say, "Hey, can you come look at my bullpen with me? Hey, can on the high school golf team, right? We would have people stand behind us and say, can you look at my swing, please? Something doesn't feel right. Can you take a peek?" You're telling me there's no one on that staff between fellow pitchers, coaches, the fucking bullpen catcher, your catcher, that you cannot look to and say, can you guys teach me something? Take a look at me, anything. It got to this point.
Can we get like Joe Espada to do like the tap, the arm tap on himself, and get Scott Bakula into the dugout and into the, locker room and just sit there and say, give that speech. Hey, you know something that somebody else doesn't know. You share it with them. Come on, help your teammates out.
Put some respect on the character Gus Cantrell's name, okay? Before you just throw his real life Scott Bakula name in there. And then Roger Dorn was the owner of the Twins in that movie. And so they had like the pissing match between the big league club and the AAA. Wonderful film. If you haven't seen it, it's what you could rent from the library as a 12-year-old that was Major League, right? Like this is the one that the fucking library had available for checkout. So that's the one that I saw as a kid first.
All right. Who you got, Tim?
Scott, let me tell you about a situation. Have I briefed you on what happened to me on the golf course?
You said that you were 2 under and then ended up over par. So, but you didn't go the whys or what fours.
Okay. Scott, I'm having the round of my life. I am playing my birthday round with my wife. It's kind of become a tradition. We go play together on my birthday every year. I started off at bogey the first 2 holes. I get one back. I'm at 1 over. Then I birdie the par 5. I birdie the next hole. I'm at 1 under. I birdie 10. I'm at 2 under. I make, a couple easy tap in pars on the 11 and 12. Then I have a real cheeky little up and down. So I'm standing on 14 T at 2 under par. Okay, take that in mind. Throughout this round, I'm putting for birdie on a par 5, and they hit into us. Whatever, accidents happen. Didn't think you'd reach the green. A couple of high school kids playing with an older guy. Whatever. Then we're standing in 12 fairway waiting for the green to clear so I could hit. Ball comes rolling by us again. I'm just like, throw my hands up, like, come on, man. Like, have a little awareness. So then as I'm on 14T, this guy comes up to me and goes, "What happened back there?" So what happened is y'all hit into me for the second time today, and y'all just need to be aware of what's going on. And he goes, "Well, I didn't do it." I said, "Okay, that's fine. I'm just telling you what happened." And he goes, "Well, if it hit you, it wouldn't have hurt." Right. And so at that point, now I'm mad. And as a golfer, you get that vibe of like, fuck him, I'm going to show him. Right. And so I tried to hit the living piss out of this drive. And it's the only fairway I missed all day, Scott. And I end up in the trees, try and punch out, but I take the aggressive punch instead of the 90-degree one. I go at a 45-degree, try and get me up near the green. End up making double bogey. Now I'm back to even. I'm like, fuck, okay. But, I got a par 5 waiting for me. I've never broken par in my life. Today could be the day. If I just, whatever. I'm standing on the tee of this par 3 over my motherfucking ball. And this guy yells out, "Hey, you want a beer?" So now I have to step off, answer him, and then like readdress my shot, which I then hit fat, make another bogey. I'm at 1 over, and then proceed to par in from there. I had 3 great looks at birdie, all didn't fall for me. End up shooting 1 over par, and I let it slip away. So if I could just go back and punch that guy before he ever opened his fucking mouth, and then go back to just what I was doing and grooving tee shots all day, it would have been worth it.
I've seen some blow ups on the course. I mean, I remember as a kid, we were playing, God, what was that? It may have been Galveston, where the last hole's like maybe 320. And we were on the green and somebody drove the fucking green. And it was a big brouhaha. And I thought, my dad was going to stick a 1-iron where the sun didn't shine. But yeah, those things kind of piss you off. It just.
I mean, one time it happens, whatever. Especially like when I'm on the green at a par 5, didn't think you're going to get there and you nutted it. Okay, I get it. But me being in the fairway, I hit 3-wood on this hole because I oftentimes outdrive the fairway. So I laid back, I hit 3-wood. I'm like 150 out. I'm not even like super far down to where like, oh, I won't reach him. So it was just a move of impatience because it was a 4.5, 445 kind of day. We are twosome playing behind a foursome, and we waited on every fucking shot. And there was a threesome behind us who were waiting on us to wait on the group ahead of us, right? It was just a packed July 4th weekend round, and these people were not having it, shooting chili peppers up my ass like I'm Lee Jansen in the range and tin cup. And it's just insane, man. And for the guy to come in hot to me when literally all I did was just go like this, like kind of like, hey man, come on, like be aware. Even if you didn't hit it, you're the adult playing with 2 newer young college age, late high school age kids. It's kind of up to you to say, hey guys, let's hold back. Someone's still out there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right. Moving on to the horse's ass. Sticking on the golf theme here, Tim. So went out and played today. I've been trying out to, playing once a week whenever I can. Of course, I was on retreat last week, and I'll just call it a dark retreat, but it was a Catholic camp. Going out to Beacon Lakes. You've played Beacon Lakes before.
I have. It's been 17 years, but I have. It's
a course that you would quite frankly dominate. And so
a lot of water.
Well, when I go out there, right? And to start off with, now I was telling you on text, one of the times we were at the golf-a-thon, we had a tradition where we would play like a different course on Friday afternoon before we reached our destination. That was kind of our go-to. And so my uncle says, let's play Bluebonnet Country.
Oh, God.
Have you heard of Bluebonnet Country?
I haven't, no.
There's a reason. So we're driving out on this dirt road, right? And my mother has cooked baked beans for the golf-a-thon. Like we have like a huge crock pot of baked beans, right? So the first problem we have is that the billboard to direct us to the golf course is completely submerged behind a tree. So we completely pass it. My dad does a 180, and in the process of doing the 180, the baked beans go everywhere in the Jeep. It was just rough. It was absolutely rough. We go there. There's no electricity in the clubhouse. There are no cart paths. The greens are shit. But I think the green fee was like $10. And so their motto was, we'll pass the savings on to you. So that's what I feel about my Beacon Lakes experience this morning. So the first thing, we go up there and you know, I've played, and you've played shotgun starts. I've played shotgun starts. That, you know, this is not that big a deal, but they said first thing, well, we're going to need y'all to start on the 6th hole because we're kind of working on the first 5 holes. So if you can just start on the 6th hole, that would be great. We go out there. There's one water jug on each nine. One water jug. And it's not one of those big, huge water jugs. It's like a little water jug. They're both fucking empty, Tim. And we started at 7 in the morning. So, I mean, it was, it wasn't that bad. It was starting to get warm by the time we finished. We finished at 11, pretty quick. Thank God I brought a Yeti with water, because otherwise it would have been, because there's no cart girl. I don't even think, I mean, now this place passed the savings on to you, but what they did have is they had a clubhouse cat, Tim. I mean, how many clubhouses have you been in that had their own cat?
None. That'd be 0. I guess by choice.
I mean, maybe it's a guard cat. I don't know. That she was kind of friendly, so I don't know that she was really guarding anything. I mean, she was sitting on the different 12 packs of balls, so I guess she was going to keep people from stealing those. But what I just I don't. So the first 5 greens that they were working on, when I got to the first green, it was so sanded down. I was like, "Are you going to charge me a penalty stroke if I ground my club?" So we had to give the automatic. If you're on the green, it's an automatic 2-putt rule.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of 3 putts because I was off the green. So, it was a bit
That's rough.
It was rough. I ended up having 41 putts. It was just a rough, 6 3 putts. I actually made a putt today, Tim. I actually had to take the ball out of the hole once. So that was, but
it's a nice feeling.
Why are you not having water on a course? That's just utterly ridiculous.
So, I mean, I told you earlier, but like when I was 17, because I was driving, we lived very close to Bay Oaks Golf Course, right? So I think I just gotten my license, and like my mom didn't like me driving far, but she was okay with me driving to this HGA tournament because it's literally, you turn right on my street, you're onto Pine Lock, and within 0.2 miles, you take Pine Lock basically all the way to Bay Oaks, right? So like it's less than 0.5 miles from my house. So this day I'm playing like shit. We had, and you remember the way the HGA worked. You alternated every other week, whether you got the good graces of that morning tee times or the fucking sweltering ass 1:00 start session that came afterwards, right? So this week we're the late afternoon start time at Bay Oaks. And whoever was in charge of the tournament setup, didn't go through and refill any of the water jugs. You remember they used to have Powerade in them back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember mixing that shit.
So the morning crew uses it all up, and then, I'm fucking dying. I'm not playing great. I've got to 3 straight of these fucking jugs in a row, right? And they're empty. And finally, if I par out, I think I'd shoot 89, but I was in no way, shape, or form going to par out from the 14th hole. And I had a point where I could catch the parking lot and just get in my car and go home, as opposed to just continuing on with the walk in. And I said, fuck it. I just got in my car and I drove home, and I told my mom what happened. There's no water out there. I'm done. Sure. And she threatened to sue the HGA, all this other stuff. So for the rest of that year, man, every 30 minutes you had somebody coming by, checking the status of the water, fucking combining 2 Powerade jugs so they could mix a fresh Powerade jug and another one. It was fantastic. It never happened again.
You have no idea, and you don't want to know how we mixed that shit.
I don't care. It was a hose But at the end of the
Well,
day,
no, we got like a paddle.
oh yeah, like a fucking
Dirty as
whore.
shit. That was dirty as shit.
I didn't care. It was cold. It was cold, and we were fucking walking. And again, you remember you had the morning sessions that started like 8 to noon, right?
Yeah,
And then the
yeah.
afternoon sessions started like 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Houston, Texas in July. It's fucking brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So yeah. But my horse's ass this week, Scott, is Raphael Stone. Let's do a slow clap on the Rockets' fucking free agency move. Woohoo. Marcus Smart, who I don't even hate the idea of bringing in Marcus Smart. It's not a terrible deal if that's your backup point guard, but I know it's going to end up being more than that. And then Bogan Bogdanovic, like this is a fucking Jake Taylor from Major League situation of like, would have loved to have that guy 2 years ago. Oh, okay. 4 years ago, right? Like you make this move 4 years ago when you have Harden or whatever it is, like, yeah, that's a nice fucking move. Okay. You make it now, and he's, what is he, 36, 38? Like, I'm sorry. You're telling me that's the best we could do.
Paccioni.
You could have spent the money that you gave both of those guys on, and I know I'm a UH guy, but Quentin Grimes is a phenomenal 3-and-D player who is basically what you thought you were going to get with Dorian Finney-Smith. And then you could have made the trade that the Mavericks just made. It gave up basically nothing and acquired Marcus Sasser, who could be your backup point guard, right? So now you get your defender. You get two guys who are good to great three-point shooters, and you did it in a way that's younger and better. You just got two old fucking guys and paid millions of dollars for them. Marcus Smart is like 35, 34. Bojan Bogdanovic is late 30s. Kevin Durant is old. What are we doing, Scott? What the fuck are we doing? Fred VanVleet is coming off of a major knee injury, and we're just expecting this guy to be that missing piece that we missed all year last year. And then two other fucking guys my age, are going to come in and save the fucking Rockets next year? Get out of here, man.
Well, but you're forgetting we got Bruce Thornton.
Okay.
I mean, the problem is that Marcus Smart is the level of player, maybe not the exact player, but the level of player you should have gotten at the deadline last year.
Yeah, and at $7 million a year, it's not an awful deal, right? But when you combine his money with Bogdanovic's money.
But the offseason is the time when the trade deadline is the time when you sit there and say, we need a little bit of extra shooting. Let's pick up this guy. We need a steady veteran hand. Let's pick up this guy. That's not what you do in the offseason. The offseason is like, we gotta fucking swing because you got a 38-year-old Durant, which I think Marcus Smart is 33. Brian Bogdanovic, Bogdanovic, I don't know, whichever one his name is. I don't know how old he is exactly, but he's been in the league 10, 11 years. So, that kind of tells you. Where's the major swing? What are we doing? Because a part of it is, are you a better basketball team? I guess if you consider Dorian Finney-Smith a zero and you consider Marcus Smart and Bogdanovic something, then maybe you're a better team. But are you better than the Spurs, the Thunder, or the Nuggets?
No, you're absolutely not. And let's be completely real with ourselves, right? Like, let's compare this team to the 2016 going into the 2017 Astros, okay? You had a lot of really young talent that you needed to find ways to fill around it with some good veteran leadership. I understand that. Look at the guys that you brought in with the Astros, right? You brought in Josh Reddick. You brought in Brian McCann. You brought in a Chad Qualls. You brought in
Carlos Beltran.
Carlos Beltran. Guys that had things they did really, really well and could still do well, right? Like Josh Reddick was an elite defender and hit for power. Was he a perfect player? No, but he had great clubhouse presence. He was a net positive, all these other things. Carlos Beltran, prior to the Astros, could still hit 280 and 25, 30 homers, right? Like Chad Qualls was still pretty decent for us in 2017, I think.
Well, yeah, Brian McCann, I think, was the biggest one of that group to me because your catching situation was shit.
Yes.
Before that. You had Jason Castro, who I think proved to be a pretty good backup catcher, but was really miscast as a starting catcher. And
right.
What all those guys did, though, is is that none of them struck out a ton. And Carlos Beltran was a swing and miss. You're going to have swings and misses as an executive. Those things are going to happen.
However, the point was they filled out a young roster.
Yeah.
I don't think, the main position players were set was kind of my main point going into 2016, right? Correa is your shortstop. Altuve is your second baseman. Yuli's your first baseman. Bregman's your third baseman. You've got Springer out there in one of the outfield spots. And then, we can kind of pick and choose from there. We've got a couple outfield. We've got to catch. We've got some loose ends to tie up. I feel like it was a similar situation to the Rockets, right? You've got Amen. You've got Kevin Durant. You've got Sengun. You've got Bari. You've got Steve Nash 2.0. Reed Shepard. You've got everybody that you have. Like, you have this young flow of talent. Then let's fill in around it. And what you chose to do to fill in around it, I just don't feel like was the right choices. I don't feel like you made the moves that make this a better locker room. You didn't make this. You didn't bring in a guy to pair with Durant. You didn't bring in a guy who can help this locker room and prevent Kevin Durant from fucking torching it in February again. What happens when Durant leaks more shit next year? Who's the guy who's going to make it different this year than it was next year? Because I think it's more likely that Durant does shit again next year than it is that you brought in a guy to calm things down. Because I don't see who that is. Is Marcus Smart going to tell Durant he needs to stand up in front of everyone and apologize and own shit? Because I don't think so.
Unless Fred VanVleet does it as an active player. I don't know.
But he was there last year as
the
leader, right? So if you can't do it then, you can't do it now.
Exactly. All right. We're going to hat tips.
I think it is time for a little tip of the old cap. Scott, who do you have for us this week?
I'm going to go with a guy that I think has a case as a borderline American League All-Star. I know you're tapping another guy who I tapped last week who deserves all the taps, but I'm going Christian Walker. Because, here's a guy that we're right before the All-Star break. He's got 20 dingers. If I had told you Walker's going to have 20 dingers at the All-Star break, what would you have said at the beginning of the year?
Sign me the fuck up right now.
And that's where we're at, right?
What did he hit all of last year, like 23?
27, I think.
Okay.
But he's a guy that is supposedly, and he's like a 240, 250 hitter, which is what he's doing now. He's a guy that'll draw walks, which is what he's doing now. He's a guy that will play really good defense, which is what he's doing now. He's doing everything you paid him to do. And, I don't know that he's an all-star. If you follow the old, axiom that you get 3 guys per position, I don't know if he's better than Ben Rice, Paul Goldschmidt, or Nick Kurtz. But he's got to be number 4 on that list. And that alone, to be amongst the top 3rd in the league at your position after the year he put up last year is pretty damn good.
No, I tend to agree with that. I think you're getting everything you paid for with Christian Walker this year, and really take it back to post-May, May on of last year to now. He's been the guy you paid for. Good defense, hit 240, hit for pop. The guy just got off to a little bit of a slow start. Played through a bit of an injury early on last year, got healthy, and has been that guy. But I think he's been clutch this year. He's hit the ball hard a lot. Does he strike out? Yeah. But again, if you were a baseball fan, you knew that going in. We didn't sign Jeff Bagwell when we signed Christian Walker, right? We didn't sign a guy who's going to hit high 290s, 300s. Huh?
So no Frank Thomas.
No. But at the end of the day, we signed a guy We didn't sign Yuli either, right? Like Yuli was a high average guy. This franchise, quite frankly, has been spoiled with some really good first basemen, but also they've had some really, really bad. So the moment they get off to a rough start, it's, oh no, here's Abreu again. Here's Brett Wallace again. And it just wasn't a great initial welcome to Houston, but I'm glad I think that's a good one. So I'm going to have two, but I know one of them you kind of wanted to co-sign with me.
Absolutely.
Yordan Alvarez. I was there Saturday, Scott. The first one was awesome. Just like Altuve gets on, Yordan homers 2-0 or 2-1. Okay, let's go. But then the walk-off. That was absolutely unbelievable. My wife has the best timing. This is the second birthday game we've gone to where she's captured my reaction to the walk-off home run perfectly. Like she just knows to have the camera on. She got a Pena walk-off of me flipping out, and she got my reaction to the Yordan walk-off. I typically get it faster than the other fans. Like I'm up first because I know by the sound of the bat, especially when it comes to Yordan, that ball just sounds fucking different. It sounded like a gunshot. And holy shit, man, this guy is otherworldly. Somehow our trade went through. No one opposed it. I am now the owner of one Yordan Alvarez in our fantasy league, and Ketel Marte for the small price of Jose Altuve and Christian Yelich.
Yeah, that was a decidedly one-sided trade.
A collusion, if I may.
Yeah, I don't like the C word.
You don't like the C word?
I don't like the C word.
To be fair, I tried to give you a better trade that would have benefited you more, but the fucking app wouldn't let us do a 3 for 2.
Yeah, and I ended up trying to cut a guy. I ended up cutting a guy, and it's still, whatever. But
oh, you had to cut somebody?
Yeah, and then I tried to go back, and the trade was gone, and it's like shit, But oh well, that's okay. Life goes on, We'll see how things go, but I definitely agree with that. That was a legendary game to be sure. 6 RBIs, 2 dingers. He had a sac fly. He had
single and a double.
Yeah, a single and a double. I mean, it's just triple shy of the cycle. So
unbelievable,
unbelievable game. And
I couldn't believe they pitched to him. Why are they fucking at multiple points? They had the opportunity to not pitch to Yordan, right? They had the opportunity in extra to just put him on.
I really like Paredes hitting behind him now, with Walker hitting behind Paredes. I mean, I think that's a solid move. Paredes is starting to heat up a little bit. So
Paredes has been great, but you cannot tell me. I don't care how good. This isn't fucking Major League where you go out there to say, hey, I think we should try our chances with Major League 2, where you go out there. This is our second Major League sequel reference today. But could you imagine Spada going out there, or whoever the manager for the Kevin Cash going out there speaking to his closer, going, hey, I really think we should probably pitch away from Yordan and go after Paredes. I want Parkman. I want Alvarez. Hey man, this guy's already homer today. He's really locked in. I want Alvarez. Oh fuck. Okay, yeah. Oh, Alvarez it is. Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, who is your other hat tip?
I don't know how much you have paid attention with the Kansas City Royals are doing this year. I think they've had maybe a little bit of a down year. Gentleman by the name of Tyler Tolbert just broke the Major League record for consecutive straight at-bats with hits. Got 14 straight trips to the plate with successful base knocks, a couple of home runs. I think 3 home runs in that stretch, some extra base hits, some infield singles, a little bit of everything. But, oh, my goodness, I remember Lance Berkman went on a streak one year where it was like 7, maybe 8 straight at-bats. It was across like 3 games where he had a hit in that many straight at-bats. And it was like, holy shit, he's on fire. But 14 straight trips to the plate that you put good fucking wood on the ball and you're standing on first base or further, Scott. I have to tip my cap to that.
Yeah, that's a good call. And the Royals have some hitting talent. I think one of the big things they need to do is Salvador Perez needs to go bye-bye, and they need some better pitching. But other than that, I mean, Caglione, good, nice young player. Bobby Witt Jr., I don't know if he's the best shortstop in baseball, but he's in that conversation. So you've got some guys. It's just, putting it all together.
No, for sure. That's an unbelievable feat. And hey, save that baseball, young man. All right, Scott, that's enough of the good, the bad. I think it's time for the ugly. Who do you have as your scumbag?
I'm going to try and keep this purely in the sports world, Tim, although it kind of bleeds over here. And I think you and I are probably co-signing on this one. I was rooting pretty heavy for USA in the World Cup until we got to the round of 32, and the US's best player gets a red card. He's supposed to be suspended for one game. And here comes, President Trump, I'm going to go to FIFA and I'm going to demand that his suspension get lifted and get delayed. And because FIFA is, a fucking cartel, they're going to sit there and go, yeah, sure. Yeah. What can you give us? We can make that happen. So we lose to Belgium 4-1. And I hate to say that I was happy that the U.S. lost because, I am an American, but we didn't deserve to win after that bullshit. And I will tell you, there is Wi-Fi at the retreat center where we were at, very spotty Wi-Fi. And, these kids like to do their praise and worship, but there was never as loud a chant as there was from Mexico in the World Cup. I mean, those kids were on fire for Mexico. So I'm going to call, since my number one team didn't even make the fucking World Cup, Italy, what the fuck are you doing? They didn't even qualify, Tim. I don't get that. But Mexico, you're my new adopted nation here for the World Cup.
I think Mexico's out too, Scott. So,
well, that figures. That fucking figures.
Maybe England.
Maybe
but no, so I'm gonna co-sign, but for I guess a different angle. You're like realistically, you're the underdog in this game, no matter what, right? Like, regardless of if there's a red card or not, regardless of whatever. Belgium is a class program. They are a top 10 in the world consistently year in and year out soccer program, would you say?
Sure. I mean, as far as I know.
I'm not an expert, right?
But
from what I could gather, that's a really tough matchup. The USA drew a really tough matchup there. The last thing that you should do when you're already the underdog is give the other team fucking bulletin board material, right? Like, what are you doing? Why are you making it? You've got to play down with this guy? Okay, fuck it. Next man up. Let's go. That should be number one. Number two, your president is out there running his fucking mouth saying the game tonight's going to be amazing. We're going to have a full team, and Belgium is going to have a full team. And if they beat us, we'll say it was, I say it was rigged, just like the election was rigged in 2020. Verified. Right? So, like, you are giving the other to the point where they're doing the Trump dance after they beat us, right? Because they think you're such a fucking piece of shit, and you've given this team bulletin board material to go beat you. Like you and I as Astros fans have felt the burn or the spurn of the Ted Cruz curse, right? Like when they showed Ted Cruz in the crowd of a big game 7, you're fucked.
And Greg Abbott.
But Cruz finds his way there more often. Trump cruised America, right? Like Ted Cruzed the United States men's soccer team, and there's no other way around it. Like you ruined it for everyone. All you had to do was sit down, shut the fuck up, and not make this about you, and let the pageantry of the event speak for itself. But you and I both know that's not fucking possible, Scott. It's just not.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Who do you got as your scumbag?
That's mine. I agree with you, but I'm coming from that different angle of why are we saying the things that we're saying and giving more material?
Well, and also, diving into just tipping my toe in the politics, saying, basically admitting that you are admitting that the 2020 talk is just bullshit. You're saying, well, we're just going to say it like we said it back then. You owned yourself, bud.
He does it all the time. He does it all the fucking time.
All right.
No one notices. All right, Scott, let's go ahead and make the announcement. This is the time. If you do not enjoy our special comment section of the show, this is your time to just enjoy the Astros talk and the awards and hop off. If you do enjoy it, I've been 2 weeks worth of stuff I've got ready to go here, Scott.
All right.
You want Trump first, or do you want the field?
What's ever easier? What is ever easier?
I've got the field up first.
Okay.
Let's start with Scott Jennings. You and I talked about the possibility of what's going on with Mitch McConnell, right?
Oh, yes.
Don't worry. Scott Jennings, I spoke to my old friend Mitch McConnell this morning, the senior senator from Kentucky. He's still recovering in the hospital, but we just talked for shy of 20 minutes about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, my visit to the TR Presidential Library, and even a little bit of Senate history. I told him we want him back at work as soon as possible. Couple things, Scott. Number one, when pressed about this on television on CNN, he was asked to go ahead and call Mitch on the phone. Then, if Mitch is able to be talking to people, let's get him on the phone right now. And he was like, "I'm not. Oh, why would I do that? No, I'm not doing that." Number two, if you talked about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, your visit to the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library, and even a little bit of Senate history, shouldn't that conversation take longer than just shy of 20 minutes? Or are you just fucking rambling things out to an unconscious old man? And that took about 20 minutes to fucking ramble all that shit out and then just be like, yeah, I talked to him.
Well, what kills me, Tim, is that he's not the only one who said that he's talked to McConnell. And so I feel like, and you and I had a chat debate over where he sits in history, we'll just say, to be as kind as we possibly can. At a certain point, it's disrespectful to him, quite frankly. For you to sit there, if you're on his side of the, oh, yeah, I talked to him. Oh, yeah, he's doing great. Oh, yeah. It's like you're a West Wing fan, Tim. Remember when you had the Supreme Court justice that was basically on life support?
Yeah.
And it's like, we had a great conversation. He was like, those Matthew Perry, it was like, yeah, it was like bull fucking shit. Because at a certain point, and just looking at it from a government standpoint, Kentucky needs to be represented, right? They need to be represented by somebody who is upright and currently fully alive.
Not brain dead.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know if he's brain. I'm just saying, he's not. He's
been brain dead for like 4 years.
He's not capable of doing the job. Just like Dianne Feinstein was not capable of doing the job.
Yes.
So this is not a Republican Democrat thing. This is just facts are facts.
Dianne Feinstein's a fucking piece of shit, and I hope she goes to the same place Mitch McConnell ends up. I have no problem saying that.
So, and Kentucky has its own brand of rules. They have a Democratic governor. I don't think can appoint a Democrat to be.
He can appoint an independent, and Thomas Massey could be an independent.
Yes, but but at this point, I'd rather have Thomas Massey because Thomas Massey at least is an independent thinker, is his own guy. I don't agree with him 99% of the time, but at least he's not going to sit there and bend over and kiss ass. He's going to do what he thinks is right. And that's, really all that anybody can ask of anybody that's in office. So, but Scott Jennings is a piece of shit. So he's a high contender just on general principle.
Good deal. Number two, I guess this is situational, not necessarily a direct quote. The U.S. government begins accepting Venmo or PayPal voluntary contributions to the U.S. Treasury through pay.gov to help pay down the $39.2 trillion of national debt. So, Scott, how much are you going to chip in to pay down the national debt? Come on, you're not a fucking patriot.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not.
You're not a real one.
They're not. They're taking already enough of my money anyway. And of course, we're not getting any of the benefits of that. So, whatever the fuck.
We're paying down the debt, Scott. Be thankful.
Yeah,
you sound like a guy who's just not thankful.
Yeah, I'm not. I
Do
guess
you not respect our fucking Lord and Savior Jesus Trump Christ?
I'm just a crank. That's what I am. All right, that's good. You got any more? Or
I've got a. Let's go one more. You want to talk about the desk?
Oh my God.
Let's talk about the desk, Scott.
Okay.
The Magosphere is losing their shit because a picture of Zohan Mandami is sitting at a desk where there are handles like facing outwards, like facing the camera, right? And they are absolutely losing their shit. How dumb is this guy? He's sitting on the wrong side of the desk, all this other stuff. It's called a drafting desk. And it's like a 2-person desk where it could be opened from both sides. So that way there could be like a shared work environment and you could pass, both things could store to the drawer. You could pass work back and forth. It's an older style thing. The president has one. It's actually pretty common in government, all this other stuff. But they are losing their shit on the internet, and they're just wrong.
And there's a picture, Tim, because you remember when Elon Musk's kid rubbed a booger on the Resolute desk?
I do, yeah.
So, Trump, being the germaphobe that he is, sent the Resolute desk out to be completely like steam cleaned and, and pristine and all that. So he was replaced with one of those desks and is seen sitting the same way as Mandami at the desk. There are pictures of it. All right. So if these are my 3 nominees, so if I'm going shameless, Scott Jennings, I think, is the winner. Shameless. If I'm going just pure unadulterated stupidity, it's the desk.
The desk is pretty good. I'm sorry. I think taking Venmo to pay down the national debt is absolutely absurd. And I think if you give one fucking penny to that, you're a moron. You're an absolute moron if you PayPal or Venmo the United States government to help pay down the debt that they created themselves because you're that brainwashed. Like, to me, that's absolutely insane.
Because Steve Bannon's certainly not on the other end. Also, buy himself a yacht.
Do people understand how much $39.2 trillion, your monthly $20 fucking contribution is not going to do it? It's never going to reach this. This is going to funnel directly into Trump's bank account one way or another.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm personally voting Scott Jennings because he's just a shameless piece of shit. And he admits that he's a shameless piece of shit.
He does. He knows he is, and he works at CNN, and he's the MAGA shithead at CNN, right? So
yeah,
there had to be one. All right, so we're split on the vote, but I'll let you pick it. So it was which one's our winner, Scott?
Scott Jennings.
Jennings. Okay, Trumper. Number 1, Americans have won the most Olympic medals of any country in the world by far, the most Nobel Prizes. Well, they haven't given me one. I settled 8 wars and I still haven't gotten it. He's on it. He wants it, Scott. He wants it bad. Why don't we just give it to him? We give him everything else. How many times has he declared peace in Iran? That's 29 different.
He already has a Nobel Peace Prize. He took that woman's from Venezuela. He took her actual
medal. Got a FIFA prize.
Taking her medal. It's like, guys, sit the fuck down.
I think he just needs to start and then finish one more war and declare peace at the end of it, and that might put him over. If you start and finish one more war, maybe then they'll see you as the peace.
A fucking war punch card. You got to get the pen, bud.
Fucking Congress is like, Donald, we use a star punch, and these are circular. I know for a fact we didn't punch these. Are you punching these at home?
All right, we're only going to give you credit for Iran once. You can't keep restarting the Iran war and count it more than once. You can't do it, Donald.
I've negotiated peace 29 times.
You can't do it. Iran only counts once. So we're going to give you credit for Venezuela. We're going to give you credit for Iran. If you want to do Cuba, we'll give you credit for that one. If you want to do Greenland, we'll give you credit for that one. But you got to actually, put your big boy pants on, and you actually got to do something there, Donald, to get your punch card punched.
Boom shakalaka. Okay. I just had that. Okay. Where were we? Trump was asked by Usha Vance, do you have any time to read for fun these days?
Oh.
He said, so I end up reading most of the newspapers. I read stories about myself. So I'd say, yeah, he does have some time to read for fun, Scott, because this man loves hearing himself, seeing himself, because not long after, he was pictured standing, watching himself being filmed on TV. Like there's literally a camera of Trump's back, and the picture of Trump's back is on the TV, and he's watching that picture. Literally watching. It's like if you made a T-shirt of like it just kept being one more version of itself. Like that's literally what it is. The camera watching Trump, and Trump is watching the TV, watching the camera, watching Trump. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, I would say he still does read for fun.
We've got all these AI data centers popping up. Can't we get AI to basically rewrite classic novels, but just insert him in them? Like you don't have Thomas Darby anymore in Pride and Prejudice. It's now Donald. So maybe we could get him to read Pride and Prejudice. Like instead of Lenny of Mice and Men, it could be Donald. He could be the strong, tough guy. And everybody's talking about tears in his eyes, how strong and tough he is. I mean, instead of Julius Shakespeare, it could be Donald Trump, and he could be stabbed. Oh, okay, maybe my dreams and fantasies are getting locked into here, Tim. But I think you get the point. Couldn't we do that? Couldn't we get AI to throw his name in some classic novels?
It'd be fun. The grapes of Trump, of Mice and Trump, the Great Trump for the Great Gatsby. What else could we have? The Donald Sitters Club. They could have a multi-part series.
Donald and Juliet.
Donald and Juliet, or Romeo and Donald. Make it all teen. Okay. How about Trump standing before the Six Grandfathers Mountain, claiming that you can't be a patriot if you acknowledge that the United States stole land from indigenous people. He called it a Marxist lie for those about our heritage, when in actuality, the United States stole the land from the Lakota Sioux in perpetuity. I'm sorry, the land was given to Lakota Sioux in perpetuity under the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie. The United States seized the government. The United States government seized the land without compensation a few years later after gold was discovered. So if you know the actual history of America, you're a Marxist.
One of my favorite Simpsons, clips was when they were doing a Thanksgiving Day parade, and the Native Americans had their own float, and it was all paper mache with all the broken treaties. And you could hear the announcers, and it's being paper mache with all the broken treaties with the United States. Oh, they're such troopers. It's like,
all right, I've got one that's pure nonsense because Trump just rambled. These all come from the same event, by the way. 250 years ago tomorrow. What a day that is. I consider this a big, big day because I'm with you. I like that too. And by the way, we won big here. We won really big each and every time. But 250 years ago tomorrow. Okay. Are you pumped? Were you pumped for the 4th after hearing that, Scott?
What did we win on the 4th of July?
Doesn't matter. We won big. Doesn't matter. We won big, really big, and he's with you. I don't know on what, but he's with you.
Because I took a Revolutionary War class in college for one of my history credits, and I don't seem to remember anything being won on the 4th of July.
Marxist lie.
Maybe
Marxism.
Maybe I was indoctrinated.
Finally, last quote. Trump on the Civil War. It was a really big deal at the time.
Nobody's talking about it.
Nobody really mentions how big of a deal that the Civil War was, but I'm here and I'm willing to say that this country was, hey guys, this country was actually divided. Do you guys know that we broke up and got back together again? And do you know that I got no credit? I got no credit for the reunion. I was the one who introduced those two at a party. They were both drunk. And I said, you guys got a lot more similarities and differences. Have you ever thought about giving it another try? And no one talks about that. They talk about this Abe guy who died like a year later, but no one talks about how the big D man brought the United States back together.
So, Abe, do you make it out to Appomattox much? Hey, Jefferson, what's happening, bro? Got this guy you need to come meet.
I know Abraham Lincoln's who everybody talks with, but have you met Andrew Johnson? Okay, he might be a little more pliable. Let me get you with this guy. I know a guy who knows him. Have you met my fixer? He goes by the name of Roger Stone. He'll put you two in touch. Things will get worked out.
Oh.
But yes, okay. According to Trump, Scott, the Civil War was a big deal.
Okay, so that's obvious.
That's the winner, right?
That's the winner for this week. Is it better than Trump shitting himself?
Yeah, because he does that every week. Every day, really.
Well, what about but did they go to the airports in the Civil War? Did we talk about the airports?
No, I didn't have that one.
No, well, he was talking about them going to the airports during the Revolutionary War. So I figured there must have been an Air Force for the Civil War.
Hey, why didn't they? Guys, I don't understand. Why didn't they just fly in more food? It seemed like we had a lot of guys who were really hungry. Didn't you just have some helicopters? You could have dropped in some Uncle Ben's instant rice thrown in the microwave.
Why the shit are we doing all this trench warfare? You could just fly over the trench and just drop bombs on the trench. I mean, the guys are sitting there right in a row. What are we doing?
Hey, why didn't the Union use drones? Did they not know that you can do that? I don't understand it.
I mean, they could have had stormtroopers, right? I mean, all right.
There were no lightsabers in the Civil War. I would do it differently if I did it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have brought in Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, not enough cannibalism and not enough lightsabers. Can we run this one back?
All right.
I think that's going to be it. So we've got the Trump quote that the Civil War was in fact a big deal in its day, and I vote that debt being paid in PayPal is just the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely, it is absurd. You're all right.
All right, so long, farewell. I bid you sweet good night. Anything else from you, Scott?
I am good.
All right. We will see everybody same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Born on the Bayou Sport.